The Business Day front page headline is Nersa's 54 billion rand tariffs blunder. And blunder is, for me, you make an 800 rand mistake in your corporate or your private account. When the mistake involves 54 billion rand, I don't know what the English word is for it, but it's not blunder. Blunder is a very wet word for 54 billion rand mistake. So what Nersa did is it miscalculated how much less money Eskom was going to make. Revenue shortfall. So revenue as a subtraction from, it's all very complicated, but they made a mistake. And so there was an out-of-court settlement when Eskom said, you have made a mistake. And Nersa quietly said to themselves, we did, oops. And instead of spending more money on the court case, they decided to settle out of court. And what that means is 12 billion rand of extra tariffs over and above the already high tariff increases in 2026, 2027, 23 billion rand in 27-28, and the final tranche for 28-29 yet to be set. Chris Yelland, MD of EE Business Intelligence. How do you make a 54 billion rand mistake, Chris Yelland?
It's absolutely astounding to me. And it speaks to a lack of professionalism, a lack of competence, I believe, within Nersa, because the methodology is well known to Nersa. I don't know if this was just a misuse of their methodology or simply a mistake in writing down some figures, leaving out a zero or something like that. But the bottom line is it went all the way, from the various people involved at Nersa through to the electricity subcommittee where this was approved. The price determination that was wrongly calculated was approved by the electricity subcommittee. It then went to the board of Nersa. It was approved by the board of Nersa by people that are supposed to be very experienced in this sort of thing. Trouble is, this is not the first, nor, I guess, the last of Nersa's mistakes. And in fact, there is another court judgment just a couple of months earlier this year, which brings the total clawback that is going to be passed through to customers, not to 54 million, but to 92 million.
Billion,
so,
not
billion, yes. I'm dropping off 3 zeros by mistake, you see. No, it's billion, not million. 92 billion or so that is going to be clawed back. Now, 92 billion, if you look at that as a percentage of Eskom's revenue, which is about 300 billion at the moment, that's close to a 50% increase in the price of electricity as a result of these clawbacks. That's going to have a devastating impact on the economy and on customers, and it's going to accelerate the utility death spiral. It's going to accelerate municipal debt, and also non-payment and fraud in respect of electricity, because you can't get blood out of a stone. If municipalities can't collect money from their customers because of the price of electricity, they then can't pay Eskom. People who can't afford it will resort to other means of getting electricity.
Chris, why should I, as a consumer, pay for the fact that Eskom has, over the last couple of decades, run its business so badly that it runs at a significant loss? And through Nersa's methodology, it becomes my problem as somebody who is an electricity consumer. And if they'd not made a mistake, then the amount of money that we are going to have to pay Eskom over the next 3 years in increased tariffs would have been there up front. It's now sort of stuck in the back door, as it were. But isn't the methodology itself a problem? Okay, so you make mistakes with the methodology, but the methodology that says, oh dear, poor Eskom lost money, let's take it back from the consumer of electricity. That seems problematic to me ab initio.
Look, I'm not convinced at all that there's something wrong with the methodology per se. The problem is the inefficiency and imprudency and I don't know, there's stronger words that I could use, in Eskom's process. And let me try and explain why I say that. You see, the job of Nersa, whether it makes mistakes or not, the job of Nersa is only to allow prudently and efficiently incurred costs to be passed through to the customer in the tariff. But the point is, let's say Nersa finds a lot of imprudently and inefficiently incurred costs and does not pass them through in the tariff. This effectively results in a shortfall in Eskom's revenue. And who fills the shortfall? You and me through our taxes. In other words, they go to government and they get a bailout, as they have been doing for several years now, of 50 billion rand a year. So the point is, Eskom has to balance its book, and if it doesn't get the money from the tariff, it gets it from government via us, via our taxes. So the problem is not so much the methodology. It's the fact that Eskom, has to balance its books at the end of the year, and that means whether it comes from government or from the customer, from the tariff, we pay. So we are paying for this inefficiency and imprudency that is built into Eskom's operations, and that is the problem in my view.
Chris Yelland, thank you very much indeed, MD of EE Business Intelligence and Outers Energy Advisor.